Hey guys, about a week or so ago, Miss Jody Stacy, our new partner, was out in the barns with us, and she came up to me and she says, "Hey Dan, I've got a question for you." I said, "Okay, what's that?" She said, "A while back, Dawn told me to saddle my horse a certain way, and she said I've been doing that for a while." She said, "But she didn't really explain to me why." She's like, "I didn't question why, I just did it." And so I took the time and I went ahead and explained to Jody why I saddle the way I do and things like that. And I thought, well, if Jody's asked this question, she's probably not alone. If anybody has been in our barn, watched me saddle a horse or whatever, I'm sure they've had the same question: why I do what I do and why I'm doing it. And the big difference between the way I saddle horses and the way other people saddle horses is I saddle all my horses on the off side or the right hand side of the horse. And I do that for several different reasons. And I'll start off and explain it. If you've ever watched any of my other videos about how I do my latigo straps or my cinches, when you look at this saddle sitting here, you can see my cinches and everything on this right hand side. I've got a lot more stuff hanging down on this right hand side of my saddle versus what's hanging down on the left side. So if I was to saddle my horse from the left side, I have to throw all this stuff up and over my saddle or up and over my horse and hope that, it doesn't get caught up underneath my saddle. If I saddle from the right side, my back cinch billet and my latigo strap, and sometimes if I don't have my stirrup up, but you can see there's a lot less that I have to get up and over my horse. And I do a lot of colt starting, so the biggest thing with starting colts in their first saddling is it has to be smooth, it has to be fast, and we have to make sure that it's a good first saddling. It has to be a good experience. So we have to eliminate everything that we can eliminate, which is extra steps. That's going to take more time. We need to eliminate the possibilities of our saddle, slipping or falling off, or if the horse moves and we don't have it secured on the horse yet, we don't want it falling off our horse and hitting the ground and causing a bad experience. So that's another reason, because I have my back cinch and my front cinch, buckled. By starting off on the right hand side, I'm already there. I don't have to walk around my horse, so I eliminate a step. And we'll just go ahead and I'll show you. And again, I've got Bandit here. He's pretty broke. But let's say this was Bandit's first saddling. I'm going to do this in exactly the same manner. You can see I've got my lead rope just draped over my arm. So the first few saddlings, I never want to do it with the horse tied to a wall or to the panels or anything like that. I'm going to be out in the middle of the arena or out in the middle of the round pen, because if he's got to move or do anything, I want him to be able to move. If I've got him tied and he sits back or gets nervous or goes, it can get real western real quick. So again, I'm just doing this just the same way I would any first colt. Now I've already got my saddle pad up here. And again, in the other videos, you can see my saddle pad slightly forward so that if he was to step around or move or do anything, when this saddle pad moves, it's going to naturally want to slide back and get in that perfect pocket. Okay, so since Bandit hasn't taken any steps or moved, I can simply slide my saddle pad back, and the hairs are going back with my saddle pad. Then I'm going to place my body basically right here at his shoulder, and I'm facing his tail. I want to make sure I've got enough lead rope that if I go to move, I don't jerk on his head or anything. But I'm going to put my saddle on there. I start out just like if I was going to start swinging a hula hoop or something. But I'm going to step one step forward and around and up, and I want to set my saddle on my horse as gently as I can, just like putting my hat on my head. I don't want to slam it down. I want to set it on there. So again, you can see I've got my saddle on my horse, And like I said, I'm right here ready to drop my cinches and my buckles, just like if this was the first colt or first saddling. And I'm right here. I'm already prepared in a position. I can check my cinches, check their length. So like I said, I eliminated one step by not having to walk around the horse one time. So Bandit's being pretty good. Step around here. So step around here to the left side. See my off billet, my back cinch billet is done up. I simply do that. When I reach down underneath this horse, I want to be facing forward because this is safety. You know, we're pretending this is the first time this horse has ever been saddled up, so I do this all the same. Because if he was to reach up with his hind foot or something, I want him to be able to hit me in the butt and push me forward. If I was facing his hind feet, I might get struck in the head or in the face. So reach down, run this through my first buckle. And again, in my other videos, you've seen how I've got my latigo strap. It's one quick motion. And right here, when I go to tighten up my cinch, depending on if you're right-handed, left-handed, or whatever, but I will lift with one and pull down with the other, and it just makes that just a little bit smoother. And I don't cinch them down real tight at first, you know, because the horse is going to hold a little bit of air. So I just want it enough that if he moves, my saddle's going to stay secure. And again, when I go to get the back cinch, I want to be facing forwards. Reach down underneath, get a hold of it, get it buckled, we'll get it secured. And on my back cinches, I like to pull them up where I've at least got a little bit of contact with their belly. I don't want to pull it real super tight, but I don't want it loose. So my cinch isn't buckled yet, but by bringing this around and making basically this half hitch right here, it'll actually stay secured for, I can move him around, I could jog him if I needed to, and this saddle's actually going to stay in place. So the first two reasons why I saddle my horse from the offside was because the way that you saw how my cinches are buckled up, I can eliminate one step. I'm already on the right hand side to let my cinches down. I don't have as much throw up and over my horse by doing it from the right hand side. Another reason I do it from the offside is, again, let's say I start a lot of colts, and these horses are only here in our program 90 to 120 days. That's a pretty short period of time for their whole life. So we do the best that we can to get these horses balanced on both sides. So he's going to spend the rest of his life getting saddled and handled 99% from the left-hand side. You know, we get on the horse, we get off the horse, everything from the left-hand side. We lead the horse, we bridle the horse, we do everything from the left-hand side. So a lot of times that right side doesn't have as much activity done on it, and these horses can get real used to you not being on that right side, and they'll do everything they can to dominate that left eye. Basically, they'll move their body, or they'll put you in a position where they're always looking at you on that left side. So we do as much as we can to balance this horse out on that foundation, that beginning foundation, and doing as much work as we can do on the left side or on the right side of this horse so that he actually stays balanced. Because like I said, Once he leaves our program, he's got the rest of his life to get settled from the left side, to get bridled from the left side. So the more that we can do over here on this side, you know, the better balance we will end up having our horses. Like I said, because 90 days, 120 days, that's a pretty short period of time considering that this horse's whole career. So I hope this information was helpful. I hope you got to see how I go about saddling my horses, and I hope I did a good enough job explaining to you why I do the things that I do, because everything we do has a reason and a purpose. So if this was helpful, hit like, hit share, drop us some comments. We always enjoy hearing your guys' feedback and comments on these videos. So again, keep watching us on Chambers Horsemanship. We'll see you on the next one.